All right. Awesome. Hey, I think we're live in this group. Gloria, are you with us?
I am. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to our evening of hope. We're so glad that you guys are here. You're going to learn a whole lot about Bobbie and her journey with Trades of Hope. And I'm so excited to do this interview with you guys. We do want to get started right away, but we're going to give you just a minute to hop on, make sure everybody is on here. I don't think we can see any comments or anything. Can you see anything, Bobbie?
Not here, but I do have our group pulled up and the live stream going, so I can see
Good.
comments. And I probably won't reference it much, but I promise I'll look at it before we close tonight. So if you have a comment or a question or something like that and you want to post it in the comments, we'll make sure we take a look and do our best to answer your questions while we're up here.
Absolutely. So I am so excited to be doing this interview with Bobbie and hear a little bit more about her and her journey with Trades of Hope and how she came to know about us and what it was that compelled her to do more. Bobbie, I think that's okay. I think I think we're going to go ahead and get started. They can hop on whenever. I don't like too much of a lag time, and want to make sure that we get all of our questions and you get to answer everything. I don't know if I introduced myself, but I'm Gloria Widener, and I have been a Hope partner with Trades of Hope for gosh, it'll be 7 years in July. Wow.
Nice.
That's just amazing. So, but Bobbie is a firecracker, and she just celebrated her 1-year Hope anniversary. And I can share all things about you. So I won't share anymore because you did some pretty exciting things last year. So let me start by saying, why did you join Trades of Hope?
Well, so I'm going to really try to keep things short, and that's really hard when you're excited. And I am like in love with Trades of Hope. So I'm going to do my best to keep it concise because really tonight, ladies, this is about you. And I'm sharing my experience, hoping that you can relate to some of the things that I have felt in my journey and some of the things that maybe might excite you about yours someday. So I was a vocational ministry. I was a worship pastor, and I served in that capacity for a number of years. And so helping people and doing things that would really make a difference in the world has always been one of my core values. But I had this wonderful, amazing experience where I felt led and felt like God was really leading me to buy a camper and take a road trip with my kids while they were still in middle school. And a lot of things aligned that made that little dream possible. And my husband and I went for it. We rented our house out for a year and a half. We bought a camper. We traveled up to Alaska and all of the United States. And this was 2019. And then COVID hit. And, while all of these things were happening, I was seeing so much turmoil in the world, and I just felt so helpless to do anything about it. And that feeling, it's very frustrating, isn't it? When you see things on the news or you see stories about horrible things happening and you don't feel like you can do anything about it. That really was a difficult struggle for me and always has been. But when we came back from our road trip, after watching the whole world go crazy with the COVID epidemic and, all the other things that were happening in our country around the elections, I just was not quite sure where I fit into my community anymore after we got home. So many things had changed. So many, I had changed. And so I was in this period of waiting, really, and trusting that when the next yes for me came along, I would know it. And I waited for about a year and a half. And then all of a sudden things started falling like dominoes. First, I met Shelly, who is this woman that I had never heard of before until I was sitting down at a Mexican restaurant with her. And we started sharing each other's stories. And she shared that she had gone down to Haiti to adopt, seen the poverty orphan crisis firsthand, and that changed the trajectory of her life. And Shelly was telling me about this artisan community that she founded and that had been going for over a decade now. And I just I wanted some of that. I mean, the difference that she was making in the lives of the people of Haiti because she was able to create jobs for them was blowing my mind. I'd never really heard of this concept of job creation. It seemed like such a big thing to help people in poverty and trafficking. But here was this living person that I was hanging out with that was doing this with her life. And I just felt like, yes, I want my life to matter like that, you know? And about a month later, I met a lady named Audra Norman, who is a beautiful sister in Trades of Hope. And she mentioned Trades of Hope to me just in passing. It might have been a 30-second conversation. And days after meeting her, I could not stop thinking about it. And so I started doing a bunch of research, and I bet a bunch of you guys have gotten online and done the Google and like checked the whole thing out. And I hope that you have, because that just shows me that you really want to know this is for real. I was the same way. Like, I really wanted to know this was for real. And so after doing a lot of research and not being able to give myself a way out of saying yes, I got a hold of Shelly again. And I said, girl, have you heard of Trades of Hope? Because it feels like they are doing all over the world what you are doing in Haiti. And she broke out laughing, like hysterical laughter. And she's like, girl, the community that has my heart was one of their very first partner communities. And we've been working with them for over 10 years. Do it. And it was like, okay. I should mention at this point in my journey, I'd met some people, but I had never seen a Trades of Hope product. And so I decided, just based on the mission alone and what I'd been able to learn just from knowing some people that are behind the scenes, that this was calling to my heart. And so I said, yes. I'd never seen a product. I'd never been to a party. I'd never heard of Trades of Hope before, about a month before I joined. But the mission really compelled me. And I had already made up my mind that if this is making such an impact for people, I'll sell bottle caps if that's what they make. I don't know what they do. I hadn't seen any of the products, but I decided that if this really was making the difference that I was being told from real people who are doing it, then yeah, okay, I'm going to give this a try. And the rest is kind of history. It captured my heart, and I am in love, and I wake up every day excited to make a difference. I think that's what life's all about.
And you have made an incredible difference. So she's not going to say it, so I'm going to say it. Bobbie was our #1 top seller for 2022. She is amazing. And I am, like I said, so honored that God pursued her. And I love hearing the spiritual markers along the way. Like, you just happen to meet Shelly, who just happens to be connected to us, and show everybody your beautiful bracelet that you have on.
Oh my gosh, yes, I wear it every day. This is one of the bracelets that community makes exclusively for Trades of Hope. They make a lot of things that are beautiful, but this is one that they make just for us. And it's made out of cereal boxes and Haitian clay, because in Haiti, they don't really have a reliable supply chain. They use what they have, and they make these beautiful things from it. So yeah, I wear that every day to remind me of the women that I'm connected to now, and how deeply I can impact their lives by being based in my work.
Yeah. They literally turn trash into treasure. And we have the honor and privilege of sharing their stories and showcasing their beautiful products. So it's just one of the benefits of being a Hope partner. Okay, so what was the first benefit that you noticed that surprised you about Trades of Hope?
Well, this is going to sound funny, but maybe after hearing me talk about the mission and not even seeing products, maybe you won't be all that surprised. But I was shocked that I actually made money.
You made good money last year.
I launched in December of 2021. And I think December 8th was maybe my launch date. And so my launch party hit right at the peak of holiday shopping. And the people around me in my community, people that I wasn't even sure like I fit in with anymore, supported me so wholeheartedly in this. They believed me. And we made such an impact that very first launch party. And it blew my mind when I looked in my little back office as I was learning how to find the stuff, and I saw what was in my little Sky wallet. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can give my kids more for Christmas this year than I'd anticipated. It was pretty incredible. And I was just so thankful. And my income, now is not a surprise. I have actually looked at the compensation plan now. It took me about 6 months to bother looking at it, but I have looked at it, and it's really driven me to continue moving forward in such a beautiful way. It replaced my income from my part-time job. And then I was able to spend more time at home with my family. Last summer was so incredible because both the kids were out of school and I was able to really hang out with them, but also say, hey, yeah, we can go out for ice cream tonight. Or yes, you can go to the pool today, instead of feeling like I had to tighten up in those summer months when the kids are home and eating everything in the kitchen. So it's just that the income, I think, is what shocked me. And that's so funny.
Mhm. It's so nice that not only are we helping them, are we helping our artists and partners around the world earn an income and feed their children, but they're helping us too.
Yes.
And that actual sentiment was shared. I can't remember. Was it? No, it was in Haiti.
I think it was Melanie.
Was it Melanie?
Yeah,
I can't remember. But anyways, that exact same sentiment was shared, and that impacted me because we get to earn an income too, and so we're all helping each other. Like I used to tell my hostesses, I can't do what I do without you, and I love that sentiment.
Okay. We
Okay.
talk about dignified partnership a lot.
Mhm.
What we see in the way things are structured at Trades of Hope is a dignified partnership
Mhm.
between ourselves as partners and the people that create the products that we market for them. Because my success isn't something I need to be ashamed of, because my success means that women on the other side of the world have their jobs secured. And that means they're feeding their babies, they're sending their daughters to school, they're rehabilitating from trauma. It's just incredible, the impact, but it is a dignified partnership. The women that we serve don't want a handout. They don't want a handout. That charitable giving world is necessary, and there are a lot of things about it that's beautiful, but when it comes to really changing people's lives and changing the trajectory of the future for their children, having a secure, good paying, safe job is what really changes everything. And when they can provide for themselves, when they can make ends meet and take care of their children and pay for their children's books and uniforms for school, there's a dignity in that for them. And I think knowing that, when we're on these conversations with our artisan partners, knowing that they know, I respect you, you are earning your own income and I'm earning mine. This is a level playing field. We might be living in really different worlds, but we really are mutually connected and helping each other. And that's where dignified partnerships really stand out. I think it's just beautiful.
Yeah, I love the fact that we're able to help each other in that. That is a wonderful blessing from Trades of Hope.
Yeah.
Okay. So what were your first challenges and how did you overcome them?
Oh, geez. Okay. I'm just going to be really, really honest, you guys. That's kind of my tragic flaw and my best asset. I had a real hang up with direct sales. I had really bad experiences with people that were direct sales representatives of other companies. I'd never met anybody from Trades of Hope, but so when I realized that the structure of the company as an MLM or direct sales, that was something that I had to do a lot of research on. That was the one thing that I was like, I don't know about this. But the more I learned, the more I was able to embrace that, because what I learned was that so many other companies have these big corporate marketing budgets and they're paying, design teams and marketing strategists and all of these things, this huge amount of their budget to get the word out. Trades of Hope decided that what they would do is skip that completely. And where that money would have gone goes to empower women in the United States. I mean, who doesn't need more money for gas and groceries, especially right now, right? Like the cost of everything's gone up. I'm so thankful that they decided to use real people like us to tell the stories of the real women on the other side of the world that we're connected to. And I think there's something so powerful about women sharing with other women in their circles and being able to talk about these real things like human trafficking and poverty orphans. These are the hard things in life. And women have a special way of bonding over those things and a gentle, beautiful way of making a difference. So it's just like, it's the coolest. I'm no longer hung up on direct sales, although Some of it's still kind of gross, and we all know that, but it isn't gross here at Trades of Hope. It's beautiful. And I've just seen this company put people over profits over and over and over again. It really is about the people. And Trades of Hope wasn't founded to be, a company that sold jewelry because jewelry's pretty and people want to buy it. Trades of Hope was founded to create jobs for women by giving them the opportunity to make beautiful things, and not just beautiful things, but beautiful things that were a reflection of their heritage. That's part of the fair trade standards, is to honor the cultural heritage of these communities. So when you look through like the pieces that we have to offer, you can feel that global vibe because their materials are sourced in their communities. They're using these ancient techniques that have been passed down for generations to generations. And that is all represented in the pieces that they create. And I just think that is so special, that honoring them and their heritage and their culture is something that we take so seriously. I just love it.
I also love that Trades of Hope provides all free training for us. So you don't have to worry about, how am I going to learn how to do this? Where do I figure out how to share the stories or get the new products and stuff? We help you every step of the way. We have our online training from Trades of Hope. We also have our team has our training, which this for June, it's called I forgot.
Well, it's a June new partner.
Blossom.
Training.
Yeah, it's Blossom, but it's a new partner mentorship. Yes, thank you. And I loved what Aaron had named it too. Sorry, just had a mind blip. But anyways, and you have us. You have the person who sponsored you that is going to be there for you and help you every step of the way. I think that's the other thing that I love about Trades of Hope is we truly have a sisterhood. I've never met a company or an organization that was there for her, for our artisans and for our partners all together. It's such a beautiful thing. And when we share the stories of our artisan partners, the jewelry becomes so much more than just jewelry or a beautiful bag, but it has meaning behind it and ownership of the beautiful woman that has created the pieces. Okay. Blossom into June. Was that what it was? I can't remember now.
That sounds right, girl.
Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Either way it is, this is like new partner training just for people stepping in. And I agree with you completely, Loria. I think one of the things that bloom in June, Aaron
there
said,
it is.
That was one of the things that kind of made me nervous getting started too, because it's like, well, I just don't know anything about this. How am I going to be capable of making a difference in this realm when I know so little? I mean, I was just having my mind blown every other day. But there really is like well-organized, well-constructed training with that personal one-to-one opportunity to talk to our national directors, to meet our founders, to be closely connected with your sponsor, who would also be a team leader. And I know, like, pouring into my team, staying connected to them, that is just one of the joys of my life, is being there for them and saying, hey, what's going on? What do you need help with? Where are you struggling? Do you need some ideas? Reach out to me. I'm here for it, And I have found that from people all over the company. I've reached out to people that aren't in our division of the company and asked for advice. And I have never had somebody make me feel like I was an imposition. I've had people take the time to talk to me for an hour on the phone. And it's just beautiful to have that kind of support. I think if you've ever worked with a big group of women, then you might have I work with a big group of women trauma, because sometimes things can get hard. But I have never experienced that in this company. Right. I just feel like we are women that have these big hearts, and we've got our eye on the prize. We know what we're doing and we know why we're doing it. And the joy that flows from that is just contagious.
Yes, absolutely. I know a lot of big companies, rather you're in direct sales or any other company, to have the owner of the company come and call you or message you or text you and want to know how you were doing is absolutely an amazing thing. And that's just how Trades of Hope is. Okay. So got a few more minutes here. So what's something that motivated you early on besides the mission?
Okay. We have so many opportunities to give back. And this is above and beyond like what our normal impact is, right? But we have opportunities to partner with our customers and our hostesses to make such a difference for
Mhm.
people. Last year we had this partner initiative, and every time we hit a new tier level, we did this amazing thing for somebody on the other side of the world. And it started with giving emergency nutrition kits
Mhm.
to starving children through this beautiful organization with the funniest name. It's called Plumpy Nut, which is hilarious, I think. I don't know. Maybe I just need to grow up a little bit, but I think it's so funny. Plumpy Nut. Anyway, emergency nutrition for starving children. And then the next thing I was able to do was take care of providing prenatal care for a woman in Madagascar because they have really high infant mortality rates in that area. I
Mhm.
was able to give a mom in Africa the supplies she needed to go to the hospital and give birth safely, because in that area of the world, if you don't bring in your own supplies and you can't pay up front, you can go have a baby in the alley. They don't care. I was able to provide clean water for a family in India for an entire year. And honestly, I could spend the next like 15 minutes telling you all the different ways that my business was able to contribute something that just blew my mind. I never imagined being able to do stuff like that working from home. I
Mhm.
decided to sit out on my porch tonight because this is where I do most of my work. I hang out with my family, I do the things I need to do, and then I come out here, put my feet up, crack open my laptop, and try to save the world. And it's amazing. It's amazing to be able to do so much good just from my little house in rural Indiana.
Mhm.
It's incredible. So I think those give backs were a big part. I made a note about something else too, because I didn't want to miss that. Oh my gosh, yes. So every single month, we have the opportunity to get in on a Zoom call with an artisan community
Mhm.
somewhere in the world every month. Um, we've met this year with people that are helping to lead communities in Haiti and Dominican Republic next month. And this is for anybody who signs on with us this month. You will get to come to the artisan call in June. And that features this community in India where the women have such spunk. They are so amazing. And I just love it. And I think being able to connect with them has not only given me um, a better perspective on what's going on for women around the world, but it's also given me such wonderful things to share with other people, because I've had such a learning curve, and it's been wonderful to be able to get such an education in this
Mhm.
work. But I have to remember, the people around me don't know the first thing about human trafficking. They don't know what's going on in Haiti. They've never heard about it. And I get to be the voice that tells them. So those artisan calls, it just helps me understand what I'm doing in such a special way. And it also equips me to be able to give information to other people that I've been able to receive firsthand, which is really, really powerful. And the artisan calls, to qualify for artisan calls, the amount of sales in a month to do that on a regular basis is very, very attainable. Like all of you guys could reach out to the person who invited you here and they could strategize with you how to get there. It really isn't hard. Um, and those calls are just incredibly impactful.
They really are. It was a great way to stay in connection with them during COVID when everything was shut down. We were still able to communicate with our artisan partners. So it's been really great. We also get to earn free product or discounted product
Yeah.
on new items that come out in that wonderful Hope Mail. So there's lots of benefits, blessings to being a Hope partner. And Bobbie, I thank you so much for doing this interview with me. Is there anything that, let me look over my notes too. Oh, our join collections, which you're going to see. We're going to do posts about the Mandela collection, which is $49, or the Remy collection, which is $99. You get to choose how you want to join Trades of Hope. And um, you will have the opportunity to get the brand new alabaster bracelet from Uganda, our
Yes,
artist group in Uganda, on top of the join collection. So there's so many things that you have the opportunity to stick your little toe in the water, give us a try. I love that we don't have sales quotas that you have to meet every month, and you can see if Trades of Hope is for you or not. It's a wonderful company, and you're going to get beautiful pieces of jewelry and home decor that you get to wear and share and tell the stories yourself. And we're going to be there to help you do that all along the way. All right. I do, just want to make sure that you guys know that we are for you. We want to see you succeed. Your success is our artisan partner's success. And so it's just a fun time together and a fun sisterhood. I'm in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and Bobbie's in Illinois, right?
Greencastle. And
so,
yeah.
and here we are, we get to build friendships all over the United States. So is there anything else that you can think of?
Girl, there is. There is. I'm
ready.
ready. Okay. So I want to tell you guys, if you're watching tonight and you feel your spirit just like, you know that feeling, right? That feeling when you're like, oh, I got to pay attention to this. I felt that too. And there are going to be things that come up. You're probably going to tell yourself, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this, or I don't know enough about this, or I'm not very good at this, or whatever. And let me just tell you, you are you for a reason. And if you have a heart to make a difference in the world, you belong here. You belong here with us. And it is such a beautiful thing to be connected to so many other people that have a passion for seeing the world become a better, kinder, fairer, more equitable place for all the people. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful thing. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to say yes. Don't be afraid to give it a try. I know that we do have those deals on the joint collections and they're amazing, but definitely look at those joint collection prices and look at the value of those joint collections, because that is a reflection of how we are people over profit. Those are such beautiful pieces. The retail value is really, really good. And the fact that they bring it down to like the lowest price that they could put on them to help you get started is just the beginning of how much they care, how much they want to support us. Because when they're supporting us as partners and equipping us and enabling us to do beautiful work in the world, that means a mama in Haiti gets to feed her baby. That means that a woman in East Asia gets to leave the sex trade. That means women in Kenya who have been cast out because they're disabled have a job that not only supports them, but allows them to help support others. That's what our work does, you guys. And it moves me. It moves me. This has been a joy. I am so thankful that my path crossed with Shelley and with Audra, and that this is what I get to wake up and do every day. And you have a seat at the table with us. So reach out to the person that invited you here today. Feel free to reach out to Lori and I. We're in the group. Let me look and make sure real quick that we don't have any big questions in the chat. Erin's probably taking care of it. I believe she has. So I think we'll just let it go. You guys reach out to us if you have any questions, and we'll be connecting in the group again tomorrow. Okay.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.